can be divided into several categories. So anyone has message? Uh, okay. They we have different like geological hazard. These are the main subject, like that may be caused to the earthquakes, volcanic eruption, tsunamis, landslides, flood, and impacts with space object. Atmospheric hazards are mainly tropical cyclones, tornado, droughts, and other natural hazards are that may occur naturally but does not fall into either of the characters above, like geological or atmospheric, but may have an impact like insect infestation, disease epidemics. Just we discussed about COVID, wildfires. We have seen what happened in Australia and in during the summer times, because rapid forest fire happened there. And then comes your anthropogenic hazard. This hazard that occur as a result of human interaction with the environment, and they include technological hazard which occur due to the exposure of hazards substance such as radon, mercury. Really, we know what happened in Bhopal gas tragedy, methyl isocyanate. With leakage of methyl isocyanate is a like it's a big disaster happened in India long back, but it has caused a loss of life because of the mm, uh, not proper management. There are so many series of methyl isocyanide, and even we have Chernobyl disasters. So this all happened because of the negligence by the human beings. And this natural hazard, and there's always an interaction between natural hazard and human intervention. So we see, as a humans can do only very little or nothing to change or reduce or what you say, uh, I think stop a natural phenomena. But as I said, with the proper management, like in disaster management, we have a four cycle like mitigation, preparedness, rescue, and rehabilitation. So, mitigation and preparedness are the first two steps which can help to reduce a lot of negative impacts of a natural disaster or man-made disaster. And it is very important to understand the increase, like how this increase of frequency or of the natural hazard is happening, so that according to that we can plan and we can take action when a incident happen. Okay, so for example, we know that this area is prone to flood. So the main mitigation of preparedness plan would be that the human settlement, if it is very prone to frequent flood, if the human settlement is there, it will cause the loss of life. Even the structural loss will be there. So it's better to move this. People from that prone area to some other safer area, but there would be some people that won't be moving out because their livelihood would be in and around that area. And if they are moved from that place, what happened, their livelihood would be lost there. They will be leaders. So the government need to make a plan according to accordingly, that so that they are moved out from that prone area, and also it does not impact their livelihood. That comes under the mitigation and mitigation plan. And if that area is again hit to with any of the disaster, and how we can reduce that disaster by proper walling or proper having a canal system, so that the flash flood can be gone through that canal system. So that comes under the preparedness. Okay. And coming to the different, and also overviewing the assessing the hazard. So we talked about natural hazard, natural event, and anthropogenic hazard. So Let's look into that how we can assess, overview the assessing the hazard. See, when I said that we can reduce the impact of a disaster by, how can we reduce by, because we can reduce only by understanding what type of hazard it is, I think what type of disaster it is, and how it is going to impact, or how is going, how it will be impacting for a longer time or shorter time, and how we can reduce the impact. So for that we need to assess what type of disaster it is, and how what is the magnitude of that disaster. So we have in 1991 we had an agency, UNDRO, United Nations Disaster Relief Organization, and they, that time they used to do the hazard evaluation and hazard analysis. Their main was to define, I mean, define an area, or uh, or a probability to find a occurrence where the damaging phenomena that is occurring in area, and identify the how much is the magnitude at a specific period of time. If we know, like you have heard recently, Japan had an earthquake with a higher magnitude, more than 7. So how it is identified, then only if it is identified, then only we can understand what was the strength of that disaster, and after that identify the magnitude, only we can interpret what will be the losses, and if it happens in the future, this much intensity of is going to happen, how can we avoid that, Arling, how we can reduce that impact on that particular area or the human beings. So always the hazard occurs in different places. So what happened is that if we talk about, if in 2018 Kerala faced a massive flood. Okay, same effect should not be like, whatever the effect impact which we faced in Kerala won't be the impact in Chennai. The flood happened there. So magnitude difference upon depending upon their geological structure, the human settlements, uh, uh, and other aspect also considered. Then only the magnitude of the magnitude is estimated. So nowadays, like GIS mapping, all are done to find out the prone areas, which all are very prone to the nature. That helps to government for any type of project if it is given, so that while implementing that project, they can take the precaution according to that. So it also helps by this type of proper warning and prior information. It improves the communication among the people in the hazard management, and also helps in the decision making. And we can also as identify, I mean, we can classify the hazard in different aspects, like primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary effect occurs as a result of process itself. For example, we can talk about earthquake, right? So earthquake, we all know, it's a movement of plates that are under the earth's surface. We will be dealing in our next unit to earthquake. So we'll be in detail, we'll be discussing in that. So it's a primary effect. But because of this earthquake, there can be chances of fire outbreak or disruption of electrical power. So because of this primary effect, a secondary problem is also arising. That is like fire outbreak or electrical failure. That is a secondary effect. And a tertiary effect is like you would have heard. So anyone has messaged. Okay. You would have a long-term effect after a result, a primary event has happened. We know that like in 2000 we had a massive earthquake in Gujarat in India, Bhuj. Whole Bhuj was collapsed during that time. and it took longer time. Many people lost their loved ones. Even we can talk about 2004 tsunami. Many became very homeless. So that impact, I think that term, I think that effect is known as long term effect. That comes under your tertiary effect. So now comes under the, now we can talk, we discussed this topic earlier, the vulnerability to hazard and disaster. We can again come, we talked about human vulnerability, we talked about agriculture vulnerability, structural vulnerability. So vulnerability differs the way a hazard or disaster will affect human life and property. Vulnerability is given hazard depends on proximity to a possible hazardous event, population density in the area proximal to the event. So if there is an event in a particular area, and we know that in that particular area number of children, a number of old age people are higher when compared to the particular age from like 18 to 40. So what happened is that moving, rescuing becomes little tedious because the children, women and old age people are more vulnerable because they get panic more, and they like rescuing from one to another place becomes little uh, difficult. That's why they come under the vulnerability. Scientific understanding of the hazard, public education, awareness of hazard. Because what happened is that, those who are living in the coastal area, they always have like uh, inclusion of seawater into their houses and everything. Even though periodic information, that is not a proper place to settlement, even the government, but because of their livelihood, they stay there. But we can move them, or we can make them understand, they, because make them understand by proper education and awareness that it is dangerous to stay here. You can stay in for other better places. And even the government can come up with different schemes for their to strengthen their economic side. So proper public education, even though if there is a disaster will happen this in this area, what you need to do, what you need not to do, you would have seen, like in we go to hospitals, in malls and everything, there would be a plan in every floor that if a fire outbreak happens, where you need to move, the direction would be given. In hospitals also, you would be seeing, it will be given a direction. If fire happens, you no need to use this one lift, you need to use step, and the direction of the step would outside that building, where is the direction, that with the red arrow it would be mentioned properly. So this type of awareness, I think this type of notifying, even though in during the summer season, during the rainy season, in different through means of radio or newspaper news, the government organization is updating like you should not go in this period, or you drink lot of water, dehydration should not be there. If it is a rainy year, don't go to the hilly areas, there's chances of landslide happen. Because this type of awareness can help to reduce the natural disasters to happen. Existence and non-existence of early warning system and lines of communication should be there. As I said, we discussed that about the cyclones and everything. There are chances we get the warning, or we know that for 5 days it's going to be raining. So government said if it is very necessary, then you go out. School would be closed. These all are the precaution steps to avoid a massive disaster. Availability and readiness of emergency infrastructure, construction style, building codes, cultural factors that influence public response to the warning. Because see, those who are working in industrial sections, in heavy industrial sections and chemical industry, they always have a drill session that if anything emergency happens, how they need to evacuate from that place. And that industrial area, if there is a human settlement, they also get informed, they also get practice, that if there's anything events is happening, they will get siren, they need to move from that place. So this type of training or this type of information when have passed through the human being, it's very easy to reduce the impact. And now coming to the assessing hazard and risk, it has two different concept actually. Okay. Uh, Hazard assessment, we see hazard assessment is only done when a hazard is happened. With then only we can understand what is the frequency or what are the negative impact of that hazard. So when and where hazard process have occurred in the past, then only we can calculate it. See, this has happened this year. This was the loss in human beings, or because of this hazard is impacting uh, this area for this long time. Like we all know, Chernobyl disaster. That area still it is enclosed. No human settlement has been there, and severity of the physical effect of past hazardous process, that is a magnet. What was the magnet? How much was the loss? Frequency occurrence of hazardous process after that hazard again, it has been occurred or not, and if it has occurred, what was the duration? Like if a hazard has happened in 2020, again that same thing incident happened the next year or after 2 years, that is the frequency. The likely effect of the process of the given magnitude if it were to occur now. So, if that hazard which has happened in 2020 and in 2024 it's again going to happen, what will be the magnitude? It may be higher or it may be lesser. So, we need to be we should not we need to be we need to be what you say, we will need to be assured that it can happen in the both the way. And when the scientists do the study, do different types of studies for the analysis, and they find it out what is the risk according to that, is it higher or it is lower, and according to that it is information is passed to the uh, mm, passed to the people, and making all the information available in form useful to the planners, public official responsible for making decision in event of disaster. So after this assessing, we get lot of information. What was the magnitude? I think what was the loss? And after that, this all study, we can also assess that how this hazard, this magnitude can be reduced by different steps. So, by giving this all information to the particular body, this body will decide or plan accordingly, so that when it happens again, it can be reduce the impact by implying this type of steps. Okay. And then comes the risk assessment, involves only the assessment of hazard from the scientific point. According to the scientific point, when a hazard assessment is done, we think according to scientific what is the long, as I said it, we have disaster for short term and long term effects are there. So how a hazard, if there is an hazard has happened, whether it will be taking the longer term or shorter term. And also it also we think about the socio-economic impact of a hazard event, because that is more important, how this hazard will impact the people, and also economic, because a developed country or developing country, everything sustained with the economic sources. If there is a collapse of our economy, then to rebuild again it takes a time for everything. If for people due to the natural disaster they lost their life and they lost their home, so for them to bring back to their normal life, the government, what they do is the government will be helping them with the building their home or giving them a place where they can build their home. So this type of approach can lead to reduce the impact of that hazard impact. Okay, and risk is a statement of probability that an event will cause X amount of damage, or statement of economic impact or monetary terms, and that an event will cause. Risk assessment involves hazard assessment as above. Location, building, highways, and other infrastructure in the area are subject to hazard, because if a hazard has happened, happened in a particular area, what that hazard will be impacting to the location of that building area, even not only the building infrastructure, also to the environment, to the biodiversity. How much risk is will be there affecting the biodiversity of that area. Potential exposure of physical effect of hazardous situation, the vulnerability of the community when subject to the physical effect of the event. The risk assessment aids the decision makers and science to compare the evaluate the potential hazard to set the priorities on what kind of mitigation as possible, and set priorities on where the focus resources and further study, as I discussed. where- because all this at the end, whatever happens, what you understand, we need to summarize and we need to plan for the future. If it has happened again in the future, how we can reduce it, what scientific approach should be taken to reduce that impact, and how we can with that if that event is happening, how we can it by taking this type of decision, how it will help in our economic resources to increase, even though this is disasters happening, if there is a little loss, how we can overcome that loss. These all things can be only done by this type of studies when it is done. And for every sectors, every state, every village, the assessment would be different because of their geological structure. But yeah, we need to stick on to like plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, has because human settlement would be different in different area. So according to that only we need to take decision. Like for one area we have taken this decision, it's not necessary that same decision will be applicable to the another area. We need to take decision according to the condition and intensity of that hazard that has happened. And we discussed that dimension of hazard, magnitude of hazard, frequency of hazard, intensity of impact point. Magnitude of hazard, I said earlier that how much it is causing harm, what is the strength, I think, uh, uh, what was the higher impact because of this hazard has happened. And frequency means how it is occurring, is it occurring repeatedly, or it is like after 5 years it is happening, and what is the intensity after 5 years, is the intensity the same what was happened before 5 years. So this, by this dimension only we can lead to the different aspect of in making different aspect and policy for mitigation, and according to that only we can plan our preparedness. And the return period adds the intense, just like same the concept is frequency. Okay, return period means the majority hazard have return period on human time scale. Some example, like for example, we can say like if I say for in an aspect of Kerala, it's very long back. So in very long back, Kerala had flood. After that, there was no flood history. After in 2018, it was the unexpected flood happened in Kerala, and because of that, we had a tremendous loss. What happened? But same thing, the impact was less. But 2019 again there was a flood. But what happened in 2018? The same thing didn't happen in 2019 because in 2000 because 2018 we were not prepared for a flood, but 2019 when a flood happened, all were prepared. So what we need to do, has to be done when if it is flood, we need to move out from the place, what documents we need to take, and we need to go to a safer place. That was all planned and people were very aware. There's a place in Kerala, Kuttanad, that is a low lying area below sea level. So every year they face flood every year, even it is 2018 or 2010, 17. If in Kerala we know we have a heavy rainfall, we have a higher range of rainfall happens. So when rainfall happens, Kutanad gets water, and that area gets get filled with the water. So people they are already uh, um, have aware, or they know their situation, like this is the time we need to move out from their places. So they take their all valuable things and they move to the safer place which government provide, and after that water has gone down and they come to the, this is a particular period. So uh, this is known as a return period, because after humans are a particular period of time, again it is repeating after 5 to 6 years, it is repeating. And it has to be looked into, how it has to be looked into. Same thing, tsunami, it has been reported that tsunami has happened very long back. By 2004 India faced tsunami, right? After that tsunami, what we do, we had tsunami warning signals. We different preparedness plan has been, in any time if it occurs, tsunami can occur, we can do this type of actions. So this reflects a statistical measure how and often a hazard event of a given magnitude and intensity will occur. So the year gap, if it has been like 19, if our disaster happened in 2000, and again the disasters happened in 2050, so there's a 50 years gap. And what was the magnitude in 2000, and what will be the magnitude in 2050? Just I'm telling to imagine 2050. So there will be difference between the magnitude and intensity. So at least there would be some knowledge, because after that we will be prepared. So there would be some preparedness plan, what if a disaster or hazard happens in 2050. And frequency is measured in terms of hazard recurrence interval. As I said, a hazard happens in 2000, again it has happened in 2005, then we can understand the frequency. 2000 frequency, what it has caused the loss, and 2005 what will be the loss, because in 2000 we were not prepared. Again after 2000, that incident, we have prepared ourselves. Same thing happened in 2005, so we have prepared ourselves, and we can take action so that we can reduce the reduction uh, reduce the reduction of the impact. Okay, for example, recurrence interval of 100 years of flood suggested that in any year, a flood of that magnitude has 1% chance of occurring. So 100 years back, there was a flood. It's not necessary that after that, that flood should be. Chances are less, but we can't ignore that chances. Okay. And the hazard classification: natural hazard, earthquake, flood, rises purely from natural process in the environment. Curious natural hazard such as smoke, desertification arises to the interaction of natural process and human activities. We all know now, we all are facing climate change, and all over we can see the climate change. Because if we see in our childhood, during our childhood, what was the climate weather and climate condition, now what we are facing, it's a change. That's a climate change, and it's not because of one people, it's because of all over what happening in the world. So we can't change the climate change, but the only option for the climate change is that how we adapt to the climate. Adaptation is the only solution right now for the climate change. And technological or man-made hazards such as toxicity of pesticide, fauna, or accidental release of chemicals or radiation from a nuclear plant. This will to the result of human. We all know about Bhopal gas tragedy, Chernobyl disaster. This all happened because of the man-made. But this see we need industries, we need technology to develop, otherwise the what we overall development of that country or the nation would be difficult. So that need to be taken care, and when we are doing this type of development, according to the proper management need to be, if anything problems happen, for that problem the solution should be there. And now the technology has developed so well that for every type of problem there is a solution has been taken care, because of the different policy. We all know, you would have known about environmental impact assessment and different policies. Disaster, we have a this national disaster management authority. So these the government organizations uh, take steps to prevent this type of disaster by make sure that all industries have their proper policies, and periodic checking has to be done. Okay. And we just discussed the effect of natural disaster, primary, secondary, and tertiary. For example, if a flood happens, water may damage to the flood, building collapses due to the earthquake, fire may ignite, and loss of habitat. That is a tertiary. And then comes your disaster and social economic. Before that, we need to know about the different international agency അല്ലെങ്കിൽ or else the authorities which work towards it. uh, in 90s there was a organization like International Decade for Natural Disaster Reduction by United Nations, and their primarily goal was to reduce the loss of life, socio-economic disruption caused by natural disasters, such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and also other disasters by natural origin. So after 90s, in India itself, even though we had disaster in 2004, after that 2000 Puja earthquake, after that only India has had India's authority come up like uh, Central Disaster Management Authority, and after that, every state had their own disaster management. Like for in Kerala, we have Kerala State Disaster Management Authority. Same thing, Tamil Nadu have, Bihar have. Every state have there, so that that authority should manage whatever the disaster happening. They should study, because I said already different state have different geological structures, human settlement, environmental biodiversity, everything. So all the states should understand their own state morphology, and according to that, they should prepare their mitigation preparedness plan. And after and during and there was a conference in 1994, Yokohama, which they wanted like like International Decade of Natural Disaster Reduction. At the beginning they were not that much prompt. After this 1994, they came strictly that they should follow a scientific approach and technocentric approach, and also we need to put a socio-economic aspect, so that to study the effective disaster, what is the disaster impacted, and also by all not only in the scientific approach but also in the socio-economic aspect, then only the overall impact evaluation can be done, and overall impact reduction can be planned according to that. And within this context, national platforms, all the UN member states has established that to make a general agreement, facilitate a general agreement on the disaster risk reduction as an objective for a national and local condition, and to implement all over the country, and to understand the importance, and also how the disaster can be reduced by this disaster risk reduction plans. And that's why every Wednesday of October, International Day of Natural Disaster Risk Reduction has been we see that day as that. And like every disaster, every important days we have different themes. So every year new theme has been taken into consideration, and we observe that all the countries implement that theme so that we can overcome that problem. And this can be done by these agencies, along these authorities can aim in disaster risk reduction by following different by following few objectives, like we discussed, I talked about the public awareness. That is very important thing. We need to understand the risk, vulnerability, disaster reduction globally. See, we have seen lot of advertisement about the government giving the importance, awareness regarding HIV, regarding even regarding birth even during COVID, people were scared to help each other. So there were so many awareness that how can you help each other by taking precaution measures. Same thing happens in disaster risk reduction. Proper awareness to understand what type of risk they can face when a disaster happens, and what actions need to be taken during a disaster happen, and also obtain commitment from the public authorities, implement disaster reduction policy and action. And also the authorities should make sure that whatever they have planned, that need to be taken into action. If they are planning for like, see, there's a chances of flash flood is happening, so they should make sure that their all drainage system is periodically clean, so that there is no blockage happens, and the flash floods can be gone and reach to the sea with proper drainage system. And stimulate the interdisciplinary intersectoral partnership, including expansion or risk reduction network. Different organizations, not only state, we need to check with the NGOs and different private organization, how we can contribute to the better implementation or reductions plan. And also increase we should support and encourage the scientific knowledge about the disaster by giving different types of funding to the scientific field, so that they can work and find out how that new approaches can reduce the disaster risk. And there is a framework for disaster risk reduction is Sendai Sendai framework, that is usually endorsed by UN General Assembly, and it was constituted on 2015 after the third UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, and it was first major agreement for 2015 development agent, where seven targets were identified and four priorities are listed for the action. And actually it was adopted in 18th March 2015. And the framework organizer state has a primary, the state framework of the Sendai framework, the primary role was to reduce the disaster risk. The state has the primary role to reduce the disaster risk, and it also emphasizes that responsibility should be shared with the stakeholders, including local government, public sectors, and other stakeholders. I already said that not only the government agencies should mingle with the local authority of that particular area, and also encourage the private organization to come up and take the initiative, and also come up with a new what is solution for the and policies that can help to reduce the reductions. Okay. And at the end we can say that hazard, we can't live without an environment with totally risk free. There will be risk, but we can reduce the risk with proper management, and uh, and actually different policies play a fundamental roles in reducing the natural and man-made disaster. And we should make sure that these policies which has been written, that need to be taken into actions, and that action need to be taken in the proper time, or else that action is done after the disaster, what is the use? There is no use. We are going to face the same consequence what we have faced. So the policies which has been implemented, which has been passed, that need to be implemented into action before time, so that the impact can be reduced. And then we are coming to the important part, is the disaster and socio-economic impact. So I said it's a very direct relationship between disaster and socio-economic impact. See, if a disaster happens, what happens? We all know we lost life, we lost structural, and to come back after disaster, to come back to the normal life, it takes time, because many people would have lost their livelihood. Those are working in a daily thing, they need to come back, and if there is no support, how they will be come back? And the trauma what they people those who have faced the disaster. See, if anyone has faced an accident while driving, just an example, it doesn't happen with everyone, but that person who have faced that accident, he or she will be having that trauma. Okay, and that has to go on, and that trauma has to go on. It will be only going when you have a good support from your loved ones or your friends, or your or you are taking any medical helps, right? Or your willpower can only reduce that trauma. So same thing, if a disaster has happened, not only we need to reduce the impact, but we also need to think on the aspect how we can reduce this economic impact. So socio-economic impact are typically defined as the impact to a community, self-definition, culture, custom, language, demographic characteristic related to change in the economic base, main industries, employment pattern, and infrastructure. Because if a disaster happened in a particular area, and that area particular group of people are living, okay, and their livelihood is almost the same. So and what happened is that of a disaster, many people would have lost their life, and if it is the indigenous people, we need to protect them. The government need to come up, and not only for indigenous people, but all the people, the government will be coming up forward and helping them uh, to overcome their, that fully they won't be helping them, they will be coming with the different subsidies plans, or different NGOs will be coming with the funding, or some good industry people will be coming and sponsoring. Like that way, uh, that impact will be reduced, and these people can come up to the normal. And some people, that business or industries which has been working in that way, that would be have been stopped, they need to be come back to the action, they need to pass different policy. When an industry is working, they need to get license. Even though you are just running a small bakery, you need to have a proper license. So if it is damaged in that area, you need to come back with a, again come back with the format, in the same format, and then only you will be getting license renewed. So then for them the conditions would be applied, so that they get support from the government, they get time from the government, they get money, money help from the government, so that they can renew their things, and they can come for their proper proper back to their work. That may be proper work. So different subsidies program will be also implement. So this things has to be taken care. And employment pattern, many of would have livelihood would have lost. So for them, government will be coming like different types of small works which comes under Kudumasri, or other NGOs, non-governmental organization will be coming up and giving them the employment. And infrastructure will be like road. If a road get damaged, the government will be taking the initiative to build back the normal or electrical posts. We need to get back the electric posts, and electricity should be regenerated, given back. So that need to be taken care, and that will be within time the government will be taking the action. Disaster will result in economic loss, I said, in the form of asset and community income, but the severity of disaster will differ based on the socio-economic condition of the affected community. It differs because a community which is very rich in that area, is too much rich resources are being generated, that is affected, there will be a high loss. And the poor will experience higher income loss. Poor household have lower disaster preparedness plan. Yes, poor people doesn't have too much preparedness plan, so they will be having facing the higher consequence. But with the proper what do you say, cooperation with the government and different agency, they will be given different types of as what you substitute, so that they can come up. So that is very important thing. Otherwise, if they go, if we are not looking into this aspect, the then there is no chance of getting to a development or developed stage. We will be always in the struggling phase, and this may be leading to the different types of disturbance in that society, and that will be again it will be in the first case, it will be then the smaller scale, again then it will be leading to the larger scale, and it will be going increase. So So whenever there is an economic or disasters happening and leading to the economic loss, the government will be coming, and different agencies, you would have seen different countries coming and supporting other countries. Different big industries, people are coming and helping. Many people donate from different. We have seen Chennai flood, Kerala flood, Mumbai flood. People from different state come together, contribute money. They take collect groceries, they collect clothes, helping each other. And this type of helping and this each other may reduce the impact what these people are facing. And uh, and what the major natural disaster may impact the socio-economic terms, that severe negative short run economic system. Because negative short run means we have talked about short term and long term. So this economic loss would be always for the short term, because I said for a particular period of time. After that, there would be different agencies and government bodies to come and support them. A longer term consequence, economic growth and development. See, if there is a loss has happened, they will be coming back and they will be working on. Immediately they won't get that same growth. It will take time to get their capital increase, to take time there to for develop. Negative impact on the inavailability, vulnerability in shifting quickly in countries experience economic transformation, rapid growth, urbanization related to technical and social changes. And apart from that, we all forget about a psychological impact. Physiological effects include fatigue, intestinal upset, confusion, I said, like after disaster, many people have different types of trauma. Many people have different types of health problems can occur, because after this, if there is a flood has happened, after there is a chance of epidemic like dengue, like rat fever, jaundice, cholera. This type of waterborne diseases can outbreak. So before that outbreak, precautions are taken. They are provided. People are provided with good water, good water conditions, so that they don't, so that this type of disease are, once it is outbreak, it's difficult to control at a particular period of time. Anxiety. So nowadays, if a person is simple, for example, not taking a collective amount of people, we just take, if we face any type of accidents, and that trauma would be there now itself in the hospital. After an accident has occurred, the doctor itself sent to the other doctor, like psychological expert, so that they get different types of counseling, so that their anxiety and whatever the trauma is, that can be reduced. And uh, uh, and and this now many people is one of many people are taking this problem very seriously, and they are working on it. They also include behavioral effects such as sleep, appetite, because there's, when a disasters happen, always there's a frequency to get like we'll worried, again it will happen, again it will happen or not, will it happen, what will happen if it happen, and if I am gone, what will happen to my loved one, who will look after them. This type of tensions will be there. And some disaster victim require psychiatric diagnosis, benefit from counseling. And so different types of programs, even the government are organizes different programs. NGOs come forward for this type of counseling in different, they goes with this awareness program. They go to different communities, they talk to them what they are facing, how they can overcome. So these studies, like this type of program can reduce the psychological impact. So we discussed about the vulnerabilities and human interventions um, in the earlier slides. So I'm just skipping this slide. And where I just discussed about the natural hazard and human intervention. Uh, Here what happened is that we can just go through a quick 3 or 4 points. Developed and habitation of land susceptible to hazard. For example, building a floodplain subject to floods, sea cliffs to subject to landslide, coastlines subject to hurricanes and flood, volcano slopes subject to, means like, see, for example, I said, if if people know that that area is very prone to have some other risk, if they are settling there, it will be risk for them. So we can reduce the risks by proper construction. Like if like sea wall can be created near the coastal wall to reduce the sea waves entering to that particular area by proper strengthening, or proper floodplains can be built, proper drainage systems can be built, even that canals and rivers basins should be clear with the silt, so that the overflowing of water can be stopped. So this type of proper development and habitation pattern can reduce the hazard, increasing the severity and frequency of natural hazard. For example, overgrazing or deforesting leading to more severe erosion, floods, land. We all know, like deforestation uh, is one of the reason for soil erosion. So we can reduce that by like planting more trees, mining of groundwater. Sorry, mining of groundwater leading to the sustenance, construction of road unstable means proper construction of particular proper construction is not done according to that land structure, it may lead to different types of problem. If you see, if unauthorized hotels and resorts are built in hilly areas, they, if that area is very prone to landslide, it will be collapsing. There have been so much incidents happened in our Kerala itself, in Munnar. There's a massive landslide happened. So that need to be taken care. Human intervention reduces the mitigating effect of natural ecosystem. Human intervention reduces the mitigating effect of natural ecosystem. We discuss about proper mitigation plan, because after understanding the impact or effects, whatever it is, if we don't come with a proper plan, again we are going to face the same thing. So after all this, our experience, the scientific people, the authority people come together, they studied what can be done for the betterment, for the reduction. So that need to be properly implemented. For example, destruction of coral reefs, which removes the shore first line defense against ocean current and storm surges, is a real example of that diminishes the ability of ecosystem to protect itself. See, coral reefs are very important system for the ocean. If we are destroying it, we are destroying our future, coming future. So we should understand the importance of each ecosystem. According to that only, we need to plan our development, and and plan our development, and also if there are any disasters happening, how we can save that ecosystem or like reduce the impact of disaster in that ecosystem. So that need to be periodically studied, and everything should be recorded properly, and also and as I said, action need to be taken before time. After disaster, there is no use. And natural disaster international attention and strategies, and we discuss about increasing the public awareness, obtaining commitment from public authorities, stimulate the interdisciplinary intersectoral partnership, improving scientific knowledge about disaster reduction. I think we discussed this in earlier, in the early slides. Okay, so come, we are just coming into the first unit. If you have any doubt regarding this first unit, you can ask me, or we can discuss if you have any doubt. Okay. So we have just finished. So we can take 5 minutes break. It's now like 11:05. You can join by 11:10, or you can stay in this meeting itself. We can start our second unit by 11:10. Is it okay? Anyone can tell.
Yeah, ma'am, it is fine.
Okay. So we can start by 11:10. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, this is Twinkle Bhardwaj.
Hi, Twinkle. Good morning.
Ma'am, I have some doubts regarding the project guide and the synopsis.
Uh,
Can we
pro-
discuss it now or later?
Project guide or synopsis for
Yes,
your.
ma'am.
Actually, I think I'm not the right person because you need to discuss with that your regional center.
Okay,
I,
ma'am.
if you have doubt regarding which topic you need to talk, or you need to have some idea regarding that topic, or any, that you can discuss with me. But I think I'm not like I can guide you, or I think I don't have that right. I have not got the instruction from them. If you are regarding any topic issues or information you need about that, that we can discuss. You can call me. I think my number is given, so you
Okay,
can
ma'am.
call me. We can discuss with the topic. I can help you with the topic, but I think
Okay, ma'am.
guidance for that, I think some other teachers are there for project guidance. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Anju, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Hello, namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, Nagarjun. Yes, tell
Ma'am,
me.
actually, ma'am, like I have two questions for you, ma'am. Ma'am, it's
Yeah.
a basic question, like what are the opportunities after this PGDEOH course? And number two, can I get the soft copy of like what you're presenting today?
uh, uh, the job opportunity regarding, see, this is a diploma program,
Okay, ma'am.
and see, we have lot of agencies like NGOs, or you can get job opportunities in National Disaster Management Authority, and also you can have a job opportunity in policy making. There are different agencies that helps in policy making. So with this course, you can implement in that. Even industrial safety program, I think this course will be applicable
Oh,
in respect to the disaster. And about the soft copy, I will contact the regional center of Trivandrum, how I can send it, because or it is recorded. I don't know. I will get back get. I will talk to them and get back to you how
okay.
this can be shared with you all.
Okay,
Okay.
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 Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank Okay, then we can start our second unit, earthquakes and volcanoes. So before going to earthquake and volcanoes, first we need to understand the structures of Earth. So we all have learned in our school level about the structures of Earth, but like just like a revision, we can just understand it. The outside of plant Earth is we know known as crust, and the solid rock varying the thickness of the crust varying is like almost 0 to 60 kilometer. The mantle is the widest section made of thick molten rock called magma. The outer core is liquid nickel and iron with high pressure and temperature. Inner core is solid nickel and iron with very high pressure and temperature over 5500 degrees Celsius. So crust split into larger pieces called plates, which sit on top of the mantle, and each line along with two plates meet is called plate boundary. That is a very important term, plate boundary, when we discuss about earthquake and uh, volcanoes. So plate don't stay still; they move around. Is we all know is things why earthquake and volcanoes happen. So when plate moves at these boundaries, this is called tectonics. But why do they move? That's the question. Why they move? Actually, they move because of the convection current that takes place in the mantle, and the core heat makes the mantle rise in current. So all natural process. Okay, it's nothing done by any human. So normal natural happens that under the surface the current cools as it gets closer to the surface. It travels under the plates, pulls them with it. When the current cools down more, the convention current moves break down. This temperature increases and the current rises again, and this repeats. This goes on repeat every time. Now it is happening, and when the plates move and meet the plate boundaries, they cause earthquakes and volcanic eruption. Because when these plate boundaries, again going back, plate boundaries, each line along which two plate meet, it's the line when two plate meet, right? It's the line where two plates meet. And what happens when there's a temperature increases, current rises, and these repeating things happen? What happens? The plate move and meet at the plane boundaries, causing earthquake and volcano eruptions. That disruptions happen, and the strength of that disruption leads to the what is the magnitude, how much will be the magnitude of the natural event. So coming what type of, there are different types of, I think there are almost three or four types of, three types of plate boundaries. Uh, as we know, the convention current do not flow, do not flow, move in the same way. Plates can be pulled in different direction, causing four different types of plate boundaries. Sorry, four types we have. First is that constructive plate boundary. See, you can see the figure. The movements is on the both the other side. The constructive plate boundaries, two plates move apart, causing sea flooring spreading. See, they are moving apart, both the opposite side. As these plates move apart, magma rises to fill the gap. See, there's a gap, and the magma rises to fill in the gap and create.
Ma'am, we are not getting your sound.
Okay, is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay. So we are talking about constructive plate boundary. You can see the figure. Here the movements are on the opposite side. Both are moving apart. So constructive plate boundary, two plate moves apart, causing sea floor spreading. As the two plate moves apart, what happens? There's a gap. You see, there's a gap, and here in that gap, magma rises and create a new oceanic crust and volcanoes. However, magma can escape easily at the surface of the volcano and does not erupt voluntarily, but earthquake can also be found in this area because of this disruption. And this constructive boundary, for example, it is found in the mid alternate ridges. Okay, this is one of the plate boundary, constructive plate boundary. And second is that destructive plate boundary. See, you can see the arrows. This is the way the plate moves. This destructive plate boundary is found where the continental plate meets the oceanic plate. Continental plate and oceanic plate meeting point. At that point, a destructive plate boundary is found. Oceanic plate descends under the continental plate because of its denser. We all know it is because the Earth crust is formed like that. It is in the denser part, and once it sinks, it melts, and new magma is formed that escape to the surface of the volcanoes through the continental plate because of the gap, and deep stress sea trenches as formed, and continental plate flows into the float mountains. It may this destructive plate boundary is one of the reasons why this type of tsunamis and all occurs. And then coming to the collision plate boundary occur when the two continental plates move together. We have seen the continental like constructive plate moves apart. Here what happened, this comes together, and this goes, and once it comes together, what happened, when it goes apart, there's a gap is formed. Okay, and this causes a material between them to block and rise up and forming a fault mountain. See, here in first slide, you will see the plates are moving apart and the gap is formed and magma get enters. What happened here is that it combines together. So what happened? Whatever that has there, it comes, it bulk it out, it rise it up. Okay, and the Himalayas are example of faulted mountains, and they have been formed by African plate colliding into the Asian plate. And second is that conservative plate boundary. Conservative plate boundaries exist where two plates do not directly collide but slide past each other along the fault. Means it does not meet together or collide each other. It's just what do you say? Side by side, they slide to each other. No volcanoes are found along these plate boundaries because of magma cannot escape. Yes, and but earthquake do occur, slide each other, means there is no gap between so that magma go inside and comes out, but earth can happen because a slide movement when they are attaching and staying slightly together each other, there are chances of slide to slip off, and that way that may result to the earthquake. An example of such is that San Andreas fault in California, USA. Earthquake. So we all know, have heard about earthquake terror. Such energy creates.
I'm not hearing correctly.
Hello. నాకు original-
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Okay. Hello. Now I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking about earthquake. Why do they happen? So earthquake, we have three names for earthquake, like quake, tremor, or trembler. Okay, it's just a shaking of earth's surface, resulting in sudden release of energy. Uh, release, surface, and that energy that releases waves in the surface, and earthquake from different intensity. uh, that scale in the channel. So we can we won't be able to so earthquake is a vibration caused by earth movement at the plate boundary we discussed earlier in the slide. For example, it may occur in destructive plate boundaries, it may occur in collision plate boundaries, like that. So it may occur in four major plate boundaries, but volcanoes won't be occurring in conservative plate boundary. That need to be remembered. Why it is not happen? Because of their plates are sliding to each other. There is no space to magma to get inside. But earthquake may happen in all four major plate boundaries, but the most severe earthquake are normally happen in conservative and destructive plate boundaries. There are some key terms before we explain, that are focus, epicenter, shock waves, seismic waves. Focus is the point within the crust from which the earthquake begins, where these plates start disrupting or having the problem. An epicenter is the point on the surface directly above the focus where the earthquake is felt mostly strong. Means just the surface directly above the focus. Means like if you are staying in a particular point and you feel the most shaking vibration, that is the epicenter. Shock waves shock waves or seismic waves ripples the movement of passing through the earth crust which comes out from the focus. They are what causes shaking. The energy released from the focus and that reaches to the surface is known as seismic waves. And the seismic activity is the air of that area is the frequency, type, and the size of earthquake experience over a particular time. Okay. And how do we decide how strong is the earthquake is on the basis of earthquake strength is just using Richard scale. We discussed about Richard scale earlier. Uh, so on the basis of Richard scale, the earthquake list is from 1 to 10. The magnitude is measured and the instrument is used as seismometer. And according to that, the earthquake is like how much the magnitude and what is the strength, what is the effect is caused by is discussed. And before that, coming to the Richard scale, we need to discuss about seismic waves, right? Seismic waves, we have discussed the ripples movement passing through the earth crust which comes out from the focus. We have three types of seismic waves, that is P waves, that is known as primary waves, S waves known as secondary waves, and surface waves. Okay, so P waves are compressed wave or propagated like sound waves. Actually, they move in the same direction. The waves moves in the same direction, and it is the fastest waves among the other two. Okay, and S waves are transfer waves, and they are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. They are moves perpendicular, and they don't move fast as P waves. And your surface waves are the waves that transfer horizontally, that are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation, and also generally parallel to the Earth's surface. And they are what do you say? Uh, they are also not that much strong as the P waves and S waves. And the surface waves are of two types. I have not done put it in this slide, but I'm just saying because uh, you need to know is apart from this these waves, you need at least you should know these things in your syllabus. It is not there, but it's good to know. Surface waves are two types of waves, love and Rayleigh waves, and these are the most destructive waves that cause the higher magnitude of earthquake. And um, and love waves actually because the earth's surface, they are largest at the surface and they increase largest in the surface but decreases as the depth amplitude increases with the depth, and rarely gradually decreases with the depth of the earth, and it is predicted the motion similar to the water waves. The daily surface is mostly similar, like the water waves. You would have seen the seashore waves moving. Same way, daily surface moves. Okay. And seismometer, and Richter scale. Here, calculated the energy waves emitted by the 0
Ma'am,
point
voice is
can be detected. Is there
no, ma'am. There is so many disturbances, ma'am.
okay? Okay, I don't know what. Uh, Now it's okay, because I my net, I don't have any net issues here. Uh, Now I'm audible to everyone. Is it okay?
Yes, madam. So now it is audible,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I don't know in between what is happening, but my net is strong here, so I don't know. Just tell me if it again I'm not if I'm not audible. Please interrupt in between and let me know. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Nagarjuna. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Talking about the richer skill, we have till like 9 and over we can measure, and with this Richard scale, we can understand the magnitude of the earthquake. So, see, Richard scale from the smaller magnitude from 0 to 1.9 can be detected in seismogram. 2.2.9, hanging object may swing. These are the magnitude, what all things happens when this type of uh, movements happen in the range of 2.9. Hanging objects may swing, means in your home if you are feeling earthquake, your objects may start moving. 3.3 to 3.9, comparable vibration of passing truck, you feel the vibration. 4 to 4.9 may break down windows because of the vibration. 5.59, furniture moves. 6 damage of well built structure. We have seen in Japan recently, in I think December month, they had a massive earthquake. You would have read in newspaper, but we all know that they have frequent earthquake. They are so much prepared for that, that they know what has to be done even though higher magnitude come. So there was not much loss of life happened, but they had a structural loss. And this much are the things that you need to know about the earthquake. And also, you would have heard about tsunamis, right? So tsunamis happens because of the convergent plane margin. That because of that plate movement, that tsunamis occurs, and they usually cause havoc at the coastline, because we all know big waves. Lot of 2004, if you can see, there are a lot of videos regarding that, news regarding the tsunami. It was a really big disaster that India faced during that time. Tsunami are the large sea waves which can be generated by displacement of sea floor initiated by large earthquake affecting the sea floor. That is convergent plate margin. Because of that movement, convergent plate movement, this tsunami happens, and this convergent sea plate movement happens where it happens in the down in the sea floor. Okay, in the under the sea. And tsunamis are triggered by large scales of landslide and volcanic eruption. It happens because it completely shaken the floor and disturb the whole area, because it has a very high energy, and it has a high energy, and that energy moves so fast, so that it disturbs but all that area. And the deepest earthquake had been known in the South Africa, in the west coast of South Africa, had happened. And even in 2001, sorry, I was talking about India, it was 2000. In India it was like 2001, 2000, I was telling that Bhuj earthquake happened. It happened in 2001, the Bhuj earthquake of India. There it was a earthquake because of interplate plates getting meeting together, and that lead to a massive collapse of Bhuj during that 2001. And usually interplate earthquake are shallow focus, but mostly occurs in the continent. Means they are shallow, it doesn't have that in, but it's a slow process, but when it happens its magnitude increases. Okay, so now we can go for the another topic is that volcano. Uh, we all know what is volcano, and mm, we have seen in different TVs where geographical channels and everything about volcanoes, active volcano, dormant volcano, extinct volcanoes. So volcano is a cone shaped. Even in our childhood school time, we even have drawn for our drawing competition or some volcanoes drawings. So volcano is a cone shaped hill or mountain formed by magma from the mantle being forced through the an opening or vent in the earth crust. So please remember, which we have about what we have learned in our plating, how this magma enters the plate. Okay, how this under the liquid form enters. So that you should remember. So volcano is a cone-shaped hill or mountain formed magma, formed by magma, and from that mantle being forced through the opening or vent of the earth case. Because when there is an opening and when they combine together, because of that force, they come up and volcano eruptions happen. Magma chamber is a reservoir of the magma located deep inside the volcano. Crater is a ball-shaped opening at the top of the volcano. Vent the channel through the volcano which allow magma within the volcano to reach the surface. Secondary cone is the alternative route that magma may take to reach the surface. The crater is blocked. Layers of ashes and lava. These build up with each eruptions and volcano grows in size. Lava flow, the name of magma. Eruption cloud, the mixture of ash and gas rock stream when the volcano eruptions happen. That is known as eruption cloud. These are the terms you should know with related to the volcano. Even though volcanoes may have similar features, they can often be of different shapes and have different eruption styles. It all depends upon the, as I said, everything depends upon the different geological structures of the earth, because every country, every place are different. Okay, so according to that, everything, earthquake also happen, the magnitude can also differ. See, in Nepal we had a earthquake, that effect was seen in Delhi. People felt that impact they had when the small magnitude seismic waves they felt in Delhi. They also felt the earthquake, but a major Richard scale was noted in Nepal. So that's why the energy has flown from that plate to the till the Delhi structures, movements of plate. They're so fast. There are disturbance every time the disturbance happens. Now also it is happening, but we don't know when this the disruption will reach to the higher magnitude that will lead to the that will result into the earthquake. So same thing happens with the volcanoes. We have conditions would be same whatever happens, but the shapes and eruptions shall differ according to the geographical structures of that area. And we have different types of volcanoes like composite volcanoes, shield volcanoes. Composite volcanoes are found in destructive plate boundaries, violent eruptions often with the proclastic flows happens. Shield volcanoes are mainly found in constructive boundaries or the hotspot. Gentle eruptions with lava happens. And why these volcanoes are hazardous? Volcanoes are hazardous because of the lava flow, the molten rock, which can be thick, viscous, and slow and fast and running. So when it erupts, it erupts with so much force and so much energy. We don't know how long that speed of the flow of lava will be going. We can't go and come and stop it. And lahars, the mudslide caused by the ash mixing with the either rainwater or melted ice snow from the top of the volcano. So we all know. So not only lava comes out, so many smoke, so much ashes comes out that later on mixes with the water content in the cloud and result in the rain leading to the acidic rain, or the compounds, the pollutants reach to the earth's surface. And proclastic flow is the super hot flow of ash and promic volcanic rock at the speed, because it is super hot, the temperature very high. So it is uncontrollable when there is a volcanic eruptions is happening. Volcanic bombs, large chunks of solidified lava may have not only the liquid, but like bomb structures, heavy structures may come up because of the force, the movements that is happening inside the volcano. So we know about active, dormant, and extinct volcano. The volcanic eruptions can be classified according to that. Active volcanoes can erupt any time. There's no period like today it has erupted, after 10 days it will erupt. No, like it can erupt anytime. There's always work is going inside that active volcanoes. Active volcanoes keep erupting lava, gas, even generating seismicity, some movements near to that area. Example, in India itself, in Andaman Nicobar Island, we have a barren island where we have active volcanoes. And dormant volcanoes have not been known to erupt for a long time, but could erupt again in the future. Means it has erupted long back, but now for long time it has not erupted. But that doesn't mean that it won't erupt in the future. So in Philippines, we have this type of dormant volcanoes. And next one is that extinct volcanoes. Extinct volcanoes have not been erupted since historic times. Means it's been long time it is not erupted, and there is no chance to erupt soon. Like it is in a sleeping mode. It won't erupt soon. And I think in Kenya we have this extinct volcanoes. And volcanoes, like they have a age, like in early stage they would be in active, very active. And as the land forms and passes through different stages, this active stage with frequent eruption, then it becomes to a sleeping stage, that is known as dormant stage. And after that stage, that finally they reach to an old stage where that is the end, that is not an extinct stage, which represent that there won't, like for that represent that for a long time there won't be a, I think they have not, they haven't erupted. So that's why we name it as a extinct stage. And as we have discussed, according to the basis of morphology and appearance, volcanoes vary in their different size, shape. Some shows very perfect cone shape, some show very deep depression shape, and some have steep slopes where others have gentle slopes, and depends upon uh, the conditions of that area and how that platic movements. We have discussed about the different plate boundaries, and according to that only these shapes are built. Okay. And see the one example I'm just telling how this volcanic eruption happens in constructive boundary. This example is related to the constructive plate boundary. Two plate moves apart from each other at we have seen, you can go back to the slide, you can see in the constructive plate boundary, say that here two plates are moving apart. And magma escapes from the gap between the plate. when they move apart, there is a space in between, and the magma enters that space, and the escaping magma solidified because there's a gap, and after that magma enters, they get solidified, and solidified magma create new crust in the shape of volcano, and then this magma turns to the shape of the volcano, and this new volcano erupts as a new magma is sent up from the below, because again there will be back, the first magma took the shape of the volcano, again there will be a movement apart, again what happened that this is a shape of volcano, and what happened again there will be space, again this magma will enter to that volcano, and soon they will be erupting. This is the example of constructive plate boundary. They have we have different techniques how destructive plate boundaries also volcano of bombs. I'm just discussed about the constructive plate boundaries. And again, talking about the managing tectonic hazard. See, when this earthquake or volcano eruptions happen, we have these tectonic movements, seismic energies, seismic movements are being felt, energies are released. So there are three main response that people can take to manage this hazard. First is prediction, preparedness, and recovery. Actually, it's uh, in earthquake, it's very difficult to like get warning that this we are going to face earthquake, but we can take precautions. Like in Japan, their infrastructure is so strong according to the earthquake, right? They were, whenever they are earthquake, they feel earthquake, they comes and stay beneath the table, or the construction are there are so many reels or videos regarding that. You can go through that how they take precautions for their earthquake, and they have sirens. If the earthquake is happening and there are any movements, they get sirens, alarming situations happen. Same thing is also there in India. We have alarming systems if any disaster happening. So prediction, trying to find out when and where an eruption of earthquake would erupt, volcanic eruption or earthquake can erupt. Preparing, getting an area is ready for earthquake and volcano, so that if it causes the least damage to earth as possible. So if a building if a earthquake, if the area is very prone to the earthquake, if there is chances of earthquake to happen in that area, if there is a building, the building can be made in such a way that it can withstand that energy, and their constructions can withstand that energy, and so that it can lead to the it can reduce the loss of structural damage and loss of life. Recovery, helping to deal with the effect of an earthquake volcano after it has occurred. Helping means we have to help the people, those who have lost and they have lost anything, or they have lost their job. As I said, government will be coming or NGOs will be coming. So there is a cycle in disaster management. As I said in the earliest, we have disaster management cycle like mitigation, preparedness, reduction, rehabilitation. Okay, so mitigation is the policies that need to be taken care to reduce the reduction of the impact. Preparedness is the action need to be taken to reducing the rescuing means how to rescue the people from the impacted area, and rehabilitation means how to bring these people back to their normal life. This is the fourth cycle, and if we plan this four cycle properly, we can overcome natural and man-made disaster, overcome the impact by reducing the impact, the natural disaster and man-made. Okay, and the table shown some of the main ways we can respond both the earthquake and volcanoes. I'll show you the table. Say in volcanoes, heat-seeking cameras can be used to take pictures of the volcano to see if magma is rising underground. Seismometers are used to detect small earthquakes. So preparedness can be create an exclusive zone around the volcano to evacuate residents from the inside the exclusive zone. Use communication system to remove recovery. Send emergency service to deal with the injuries. There would be panic situation. There may be injuries. So. A hospital team need to be sent immediately. See, for example, not only in the volcano, if we discuss about a train accident, if a train, there's a major fall of train, many people get hurt or injured. So what the first thing we do, we first thing to send the emergency, like hospital emergency people are sent, and these, they substate the people, which people need to send that hospital, which people need to send to this hospital according to the, depending upon the, how serious is the person. Same thing, the first aid need to be sent first, and second, the which people need to be moved to the hospital, they are moved immediately after the first aid treatment. Second is the earthquake. It is nearly impossible to predict an earthquake, as I told, but there are signs of earthquake, plate movement. The seismometer can pick up the vibration, but we can't say that how much would be the intensity after the reach, after this one, after the earthquake happened, then only in the Richter scale it will be detected. But different random gas escape from the gas, with that all gas eruption we can identify, unless and until there are some authority to monitor these type of things. If there is no one is to monitor, it's difficult to interpret. And earthquake drills can be done in school, office, to educate people of what to be done in earthquake, how to. And as I said, buildings are designed to earthquake proof, and prepare emergency supplies such as food and water. Rescue team, sniffer dogs are sent. You would say a landslide or earthquakes, dogs are sent. They smell and they find out there people are inside them, and with that help, they are taken out from that. Uh, Taken out from that mud or any blockage of there and under the surface. And emergency shelters, they would be shifted to some other protective shelter where their clothes, basic needs are be provided, and emergency teams are sent to deal with the injuries. So these are the things you need to go through your second unit, regarding your earthquake and volcanoes. So if you have any doubt regarding these things, you can ask me. Um, uh, and I think I don't know how the questions are coming for you for your exams. Once I will contact the regional center and get the question, we can discuss what type of questions are coming, and we can answer, practice in a coming classes, the how you need to prepare. I can help. We'll discuss the question that will help you to prepare yourself for the exams. Uh, Okay, so you can ask me if you have any doubt, and I hope I was okay. You are able to follow my class, so you can come up with the suggestions, or you have any queries related to that. You can come up.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, tell me, Nagarjuna.
Ma'am, actually, like it was okay, ma'am. Like I can understand like whatever you're saying, and in between there are some disturbances. Like I found it is beneficial for the exams also. Ma'am, can I know like when is the exams, ma'am?
I think that I will just for next class I will update you, or else you can contact your regional centers,
Okay, ma'am.
because now this is the first class I think for
Yes.
diploma program is starting. So
Okay.
let me talk with the regional center for the Trivandrum. I'll let
Okay.
you know from them. So I
Okay.
haven't got any information regarding the examination or
Okay.
regarding that. Okay.
And one more thing, ma'am. Ma'am, like if you can make like from the IGNO study center, like if they can make out the WhatsApp group so that it will be good for the communication things. Like so can be done, ma'am.
Okay, that also I will give pass the information to regional center, because I don't have anyone's number or
Okay.
any thing. I haven't got any information regarding the students.
Okay, ma'am.
So if they are making a group, okay, I will pass that. Actually, that's a good idea. The information can be passed, but
Shared, ma'am.
yeah, the centers need to take. They will take the decision. I will pass the information to
Yes. Yes.
uh, them, and I will also ask them how this my ppts or other notes
Yes.
can be sent to you all, and also I will ask them what is the when will the exam will be starting, and how's the question patterns are coming. So we'll discuss. I will get the information, and next class after the my portions has been taken, we can discuss the previous year question paper. That will help you all to prepare for your examinations.
Okay, ma'am. Noted,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Nan. Anyone else need to ask anything? Yes, Mohammed Jassim, you can ask.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. Um,
Good afternoon,
you know,
Mohammed.
before the examination, we have an assignment submission, right? So when do we have to
Yeah.
start with the submission?
You got your topics, you got your questions regarding the assignment.
I don't have any information yet, ma'am.
Okay, so I think shortly you will be getting information through mail or WhatsApp group. I think usually assignment is based on the questions given by the uh, IGNO, and soon they will be updating you because I don't have any information regarding the assignment. I will also pass the same question to here regional center Trivandrum. Will ask it next class. I will clear your doubt regarding the assignment. I think before that itself, you will be getting information from your respective regional centers regarding the assignments.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am,
Okay.
if you allow me, I created a WhatsApp group already. I can share the link in the chat box here if you allow me, so that everybody can join and then, start communicating with each other. We'll get it. It will be informative.
Okay. I don't have any problem. You can start. It's all up to you. No problem. If you no problem because here we have a person from regional center. I think those who want they can join this group. You can
Okay, so I've shared the link on the chat box. So if anybody is interested, they can join the group so that we can
oh,
communicate and then share information.
okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. So you all are from different parts of India. May I know from where, from which all state you all belong?
I am from Kerala. I am from Kodungalur, Thrissur.
Kodangalur, Trishur. Okay. What about others?
Some of them have left, it seems.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am,
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah.
Uh,
Afsal.
yeah, my
Hi.
name is Afsal. Actually, I am from also Kerala, from
Okay.
Alappuzha.
Alapura. Okay. Great.
Yeah, but